3. Someone just came already.
Steve,
Eric?
Thanks, Eric. Okay, it's a few minutes after 9. Ashley's going to take roll to see if we have a quorum. And so if you are, she'll call your name, and if you're on the line, please say present.
Alan Hawks. Joe Mamoni. Phyllis Gibbs.
Present. Here, whatever, I forgot what I was supposed to say.
Yep, that's right. Sherry Reeves. Cheryl. Yeah.
Hello?
Okay, we got a lot of people. We're going to wait just a few more minutes, and then we're going to take roll and we'll get started, okay?
If everybody can mute their phone if they're not talking.
Yeah, great point. Please mute your phone.
Hi, this is Joe. I'm here. I'm muting the phone now.
Thank you. There was big shots that Steve Harvey does. Did you watch it last night? I had a little basketball player that reminded me of Ethan. He's 3 years old and he's dribbling like this, and he was just talking. That's all right. Thank you.
Put your mic on.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and take roll. So when we call your name, unmute, say present, and then we'll get the meeting started. Thank you.
All right, Alan Hawks. Joe Mamoni.
Present.
Phyllis Gibbs.
Present.
Sherry Reeves. Cheryl Turner. Linda Lynn Cacadelas.
Present.
Lynn Kroger.
Present.
Alex Quigley.
Present.
Tammy Sutton. Stephen Walker.
Present.
Heather Von Cannon.
Present.
Kevin Wilkinson. Right, so it looks like we have 7.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum. And
Excellent.
Mr. Walker will read the conflict of interest in the mission.
Board members are reminded that it is our duty to avoid conflicts of interest and the appearance of conflicts of interest as we handle the work of the advisory board. Does any member of the advisory board know of any conflict of interest or any appearance of conflict with respect to any matters coming before us at this meeting? If so, please state them for the record. If during the course of this meeting you become aware of any actual or apparent conflict of interest, please bring the matter to the attention of the chair. It will then be your duty to abstain from participating in discussion on the matter and from voting on the matter. Does anyone have anything they need to report? All right, the mission statement of the Charter School Advisory Board is the Charter Schools Advisory Board works to ensure the existence of high-quality charter schools in North Carolina.
Okay, Mr. Chair.
Great. So I'm gonna. The meeting has officially begun. This called meeting is for us to discuss Three Rivers Academy, formerly Heritage, is requesting an amendment to relocate more than 5 miles from the current location. I believe the actual distance is 17 miles. I'm going to ask staff to give us a brief overview of the circumstances so everyone is just up to speed, and here's the same information from staff, and then we'll open the floor for discussion.
Okay. All right, this is Dave Machado. Three Rivers Academy has tried to negotiate with the modular company and the owner of the property, and because the owner of the property had a lease with the previous nonprofit through the month of July. They weren't able to get on site, and of course they had issues with furniture being taken out of the building, buses were taken, and now the modular company is not willing to negotiate a reasonable lease with the new board. So because of that, they look for an alternative site, and they have located a site. I think I sent you the information this morning. It is a older school that is turned into a community center. They will be able to, they have had an inspector come out, look at the property, and they feel strongly that they will be able to get the building with a few minor changes upfitted and get a educational certificate of occupancy by August the 27th. The present location that they're at is not in a housing area, so I don't think this is going to be an issue where their targeted population will change. It does possibly have some advantages where they might be able to pull from some other counties to get their enrollment where they want to be. In my conversations with the management company, they feel like they will be able to open up at this site in August, and their targeted enrollment is close to 200, and hopefully that they can achieve that. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, so any clarifying questions about the circumstance?
Mr. Chair, this is Stephen Walker. I looked through the document that they sent over, their justification, the letter that was dated August 10th to Mark Johnson to explain the justification of everything, and I think it answered a whole lot of the questions that I had. You know, I had questions about how does this impact the current students, and I understand, I've been in Bertie County enough myself to know that 17 miles is not very far in Bertie County. You're not going to hit a lot of red lights. You're going to be going at full speed basically the whole way there. And so that answered a lot of my questions, and also their responses to Director Machado's questions I thought were good, that we understand that, you know, they're still projecting to have about 200 students that's there. I think it's, you know, way too early to say this isn't going to work. Sounds like they have, that the biggest obstacle that they've had is really dealing with prior management of the school, and I think that's pretty well set out in the Exhibit B of the document that they sent. And my understanding from at least media reports was that they did get a temporary restraining order, and that the judge ordered that the furniture and the buses be turned back over to the charter school. So I think that's, you know, with further hearings coming up on that. So I think that this seems like a reasonable request to me to move this, and it sounds like that they may be moving it a little farther away from some students, and it looks like they're moving it closer to some other students. So it seems like in the end, it's something that's going to work.
All right. Any other questions or comments?
This is Linda, and I just want to say I've been amazed at Global Resource, how they have really fought to have this school opened in August for the students, and not, you know, this is a real assumption. Sorry that it's just the previous operator has made it very difficult, but I'm just impressed with their stick-to-itiveness, to perseverance to keep going at it.
I have a question. I know you're saying there were about 200 students. Are they guaranteed those? Are they all in Bertie County, or some of them coming from the adjoining county? Because I noticed that the location they want to move to is very close to another county.
That 200 is a projection. It is no guarantee. It is what they're hoping to get.
You mean at 2 weeks before school starts, they don't know who wants to attend? How many?
They have had two parent information sessions, and I'm being told that they're also contacting everybody that was currently enrolled, and they're going through that process right now.
So they did have some current enrolls. Definitely wanted to go. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll say too, Phyllis, that in their when they looked at the students that were already at Heritage Collegiate, and that I think they would hope would continue at Three Rivers Academy, they've got. It looks like that they served people from Washington, Hertford, Martin, and then a few students from Pitt County as well.
Okay. I thought they don't have enough students in Bertie County hardly to keep the regular schools open. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad to know all that because I was very dubious about whether they would be able to make it and get the students at this late date, which I guess y'all saw my email, so that Alan sent around. Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Well, if we closed it down, you know, my problem is if we closed it down now, the people who loan money would never get paid. So I think that's something to consider.
Yeah, I think at this point it's hard to conceive of stopping the process. I think if Global Education was saying, "Hey, we want out of this," it's just too hard.
Okay.
I'd probably say, "Okay, no problem. I mean, we get it. You tried." But at this point,
Hey, Alan?
I think we probably need to move forward.
I think I'm gonna have to change my mind. You know, I originally thought, and I thought that maybe if we closed it and start all over again. But the problem is, like I said, the people who had loaned money would never be paid. And okay, all right, go ahead. That was my say.
Well, this is Linda, and let me add that I thought it was interesting. They have tried diligently. If you look at the Exhibit A, they tried diligently to negotiate and work, I think, very reasonable terms with the former location.
Yeah. Well, there's no way to work with her.
Alan Hawks has joined the conversation.
I am doing well. Good morning, all.
Go ahead, Alan.
Yes, I'm listening. Good morning, everyone.
Well, Mr. Chair, I would, after reading this and hearing the presentation by Mr. Machado and having my questions answered, I would move that the Charter School Advisory Board recommend to the State Board that this charter amendment to move the school 17 miles from its current location be approved.
This is Linda, and I'll second that.
All right, it's been properly moved and second. Any discussion on the motion?
Yes, this is Alan Hawks. We've got, 2 weeks left before school is scheduled to open, and we're expecting this to be successful?
Alan, I am willing to give them a chance. Until a school has performance information, we don't know if it's successful or not. But in the business world, you do take chances. If assumption means that the school continues to operate, that this is an assumption. It's been a very difficult one because of I think we all know previous operator. But if anybody can make it happen, I believe James Montague and Global Education Resources, I believe they're the ones to make it happen.
Well, I respectfully disagree. We've got 2 weeks left. This whole idea of being able to reboot, remarket, rebrand a school in 60 days, I think the advisory board made a big mistake recommending to the State Board of Education. It's put us in a very precarious position. At least the other management company was suggesting a year's delay, and they had deep pockets. They understood what the problems were going to be. I'm not sure this management company has the wherewithal or the judgment to be able to move this forward. I mean, for anybody, this is a most difficult task now with 2 weeks left, trying to get kids in this school and get all these moving parts assembled. I don't see it happening. I see this being more embarrassment, and I recommend, I'm not going to be voting for this measure. I'd recommend revisiting, revoking the charter.
Well, Alan, I've changed my mind. This is Phyllis. Because if we revoke the charter, then as I have said, and you might not have been listening in, that the people who are owed money will never get paid. And that was one thing I thought we were concerned about, is at least give these people a try. And that's better than doing nothing, I think, and closing it down. So I'm going to vote yes.
If I could respectfully
sorry to change my mind, Alan, but
is that other operator?
That's nothing new, right?
Was going to take over. Are they still interested?
You didn't hear the first part, did you? They have worked real hard, and they've got like 200 students on the list, and from different counties. So there will be several counties sending students, they think. So we need to give them a try. Okay. Either that or completely lose all the money that this woman has spent. So that's my say. Okay, I'm through.
Okay, any other comments or discussion?
This is Joe here. I'm going to support the motion. I believe with 200 students 2 weeks away from school starting, to pull the plug on them right now would be a real disservice to those families and those students. They've had community meetings. They've worked very, very hard to get to this point. Those families are aware of the new location they're proposing. I assume they're excited about it. It is a prior school building that had been used as a school. So I think they've done everything they can in a very difficult situation to make this happen, and they deserve our support.
Are we ready to take a vote?
Yeah, I think if there's no further discussion, I'm ready to call for the question. All in favor? Let's go ahead and do a roll call. If we could, if Dave, Director Machado could call each member, and we could get a roll call vote.
All right, Alan Hawks.
That's what you call it.
No.
Joseph Mamoni.
Yes.
Phyllis Gibbs.
Yes.
Linda Lynn Cacadelis.
Yes.
Lynn Kroger.
Yes.
Alex Quigley.
Yes.
Stephen Walker.
Yes.
Heather Van Cannon.
Yes.
That's it. It passes.
What was the count?
It is 7-1.
Okay. So on behalf of the CSAB, we'll be making that recommendation to the state board at their meeting at 10 o'clock this morning.
Mr. Chair, I move we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Aye.
Thank you, Dave.
Yes, sir. Can you guarantee state board meeting go that easy? Come on.
Yes.
Thank you.